Welcome to the Report. Appreciate you guys for taking this time to hear me out here on the Report. We got a fantastic show for you today. Of course, we have, now that the trade deadline is over, the All-Star break is over, it's time to do something that we didn't do in the beginning of the season, and that is our predictions. I'm talking records. I'm talking play-in, first round, second round, conference finals, all the way up to the NBA finals. Who is going to make it? According to the report, teams are set. No more trade deadlines. So let's get into it. But before we do, be sure to subscribe to the channel. We are 30 away from 2,000. We're trying to hit the new millennium. So if you guys could please subscribe to the channel for me, and so we can reach our goal, that would be very much appreciated. And without further ado, let's get into the show to start this thing.
Tell me what they wanna see me for. Hit me out, here we go. What's the report? Tell me what they wanna see me for. Hit me out, here we go. What's the report? Tell me what they wanna see me for. Hit me out, here we go. What's the report? Tell me what they wanna see me for. Hit me out, here we go. What's the report? Bring it to you live.
We are here. We are back. We are back with another video. Again, NBA predictions video, post NBA trade deadline, post All-Star break. So without further ado in this video, let's get into our predictions. Let's go on the record on who we believe will be in the NBA finals, who we believe will be matching up in the playoffs. What records will they finish with, and things of that nature. Let's get into that. In the East, we're gonna start things off in the East. The East is always the most, it's the easiest one to predict. It's really not much drama in the East until you get to like the conference finals, and even then it's really not that much. Sometimes it's pretty much a foregone conclusion on who's going to come out the East, what the standings are going to be even before the All-Star break. With the East, you pretty much know after, after November, mid-December, you pretty much know what the standings are going to be and who's the best team. But this year, of course, we got Cleveland. We got Cleveland here, and as you see, and we got Boston. Boston are not only the defending Eastern Conference champions, but defending NBA champions. So we got Cleveland and Boston. Cleveland as the 1 seed. They've been maintaining that pretty much the entire season. And then there's the Knicks. And just to go back, Cleveland, I believe, will win 65 games. Boston will finish with 58. I got the Knicks winning 55. The Bucks will get out of the spot they're currently in. They'll have a home court advantage in the first round. They'll win 52 games. I got Indiana winning 48, so they will be the 5th seed. Detroit, the surprise team of the East. If you saw my poll, you saw that the Pistons, they haven't won a playoff game, believe it or not, since May 26, 2008. That was the last time they won a playoff game. They made it to the play. That was in the Eastern Conference Finals against the the Boston Celtics. And they ended up losing that series in 6. And then they made it to the playoffs the following year in 2009, where they were swept by Cleveland in the first round. They didn't make it again until about 2015, where they were swept by Cleveland again. And they didn't make it again until about 2019 or 2018, where they were swept by the Bucks. So they've only been to the playoffs twice since 2009. They've only been there twice since 2014. They've only been twice. And this year it's looking different for Cleveland. It's looking different. I got them finishing with 44 wins. I think they'll finish with a winning record. And in the play-in slot, that's where I have the Orlando Magic, who's been hit. Orlando was up there as like the 3 seed before the injuries really took them out. And I believe they would have maintained that had it not been for that. But I got Orlando finishing in the play-in spot at 42-40. Miami, no Butler, 41-41. I got Philly getting in. They're not in currently at the time of watching this. They're on the outside looking in of the play-in even. And I got them finishing 40-42. I think they'll get things going to at least get that part of their season right. As far as like going further, It ain't gonna be much of a surprise, but we'll get there when we get there. And I got Atlanta. They are always a constant in the play-in ever since pretty much that Eastern Conference Finals run back in 2021. But I got them finishing 38-44 to get the 10th spot. So that means Chicago will be on the outside looking in. And in the West, let's take things over to the Western Conference. Finishing up on the standings, I got OKC winning 64 games, so that means Cleveland will finish with the best record in the NBA. I got Memphis winning 56 games. I got Denver winning 54 games. I'm gonna take the Lakers to come back up and creep up and get that 4 seed. I think they'll have home court in the first round as well, as we talked about Milwaukee coming back up to get the 4 seed in the East. I got the Rockets finishing with 50 wins at 50-32. Give me Dallas. I'm assuming everybody's healthy. I'm assuming that people get healthy and the teams get right. So I got Dallas going 49-33. And then in the play-in, I'm going to take Minnesota to also finish with 49 wins to be the 7th seed at the moment. We still have the play-in predictions as well. I got the Clippers finishing with 48 wins. Give me the Warriors with 45 wins. And I will take Phoenix to get in with 43 wins. So that means the Sacramento Kings would be on the outside looking in. So those are our standings. Those are our standings as we continue this prediction video on. So let's just go straight into the play-in. In the play-in matchup, I'm going to take... like I said, the East is never that complicated to me. What you see pretty much is what you're going to get. I'm going to take the Magic over the Heat. The Heat doesn't have Butler anymore, so there won't be any, magical runs, no pun intended. No more magical runs, no more Butler to carry them. So Orlando will beat Miami, so that will send Miami to play the winner of the 9 versus 10. And in the 9 versus 10, I'm taking the Sixers to beat the Atlanta Hawks. Sixers should at least be good enough to make it past this round. It should be at least good enough. So that means they will be playing again the Miami Heat in the 9 versus 8. And I'm going to take the Sixers to win that one. The Heat don't have Butler anymore. No more Jimmy Butler to save them with these good, magical, crazy playoff runs. So I'm going to take Philly to salvage their season the best way they know how. So those are my predictions for the play-in. So that means the official Eastern Conference standings will be Cleveland, Boston, New York, Milwaukee, Indiana, Detroit, Orlando, Philly. Those are my official Eastern Conference standings. And in the West play-in, let's go out to the Wild Wild West. Now, this is always a story-driven conference where everything is prime time and must-see television for the most part. And in the 7 versus 8, I believe these two teams played years ago. I think there was that game where Patrick Beverley got all emotional as if, Minnesota won the championship when they beat the Clippers in the play-in. And according to the Reed Report, they'll be playing again. Of course, no Pat Beverley, no Paul George this time around for the Clippers. So I'm going to take the Timberwolves to win this game again in this same, play-in. I'm going to take the Timberwolves to win this one against the Clippers. So the Timberwolves will maintain their 7th seed while the Clippers will have to fight to keep their 8th seed. So the Wolves' slow start, it'll be the reason. They did have a slow start to the season. It'll be the reason they're in the play-in tournament, but they will beat the Clippers to get in the playoffs. And 10 versus 9, I'm taking... like I said, a lot of storylines in the West, even in the play-in. We're not even in the playoffs yet. But I'm taking Phoenix, man. I'm taking Phoenix over Golden State in Golden State. And the Warriors didn't make the playoffs last year. Wow, this is tough. But I got to pick somebody. And I'm going to go Phoenix. This will be the highlight pretty much of KD's postseason by, beating his former team and preventing them from making the playoffs. I say KD keep the Warriors from making the playoffs. I'm going to take KD in the Suns. And unless Jimmy Butler happen. And in the 8 versus 10, Clippers versus Suns, I'm taking Kawhi Leonard if he plays to beat the Phoenix Suns, and the Clippers will maintain their 8th spot in the playoffs. So they will take out the Suns, and that'll leave Durant to go on to free agency or, his summer, where I think he's going to be joining the Houston Rockets next season, Kevin Durant, to have at least, one more shot at trying to get that championship after Golden State. That's where I think he's going. So here are the official Western Conference standings. Now that that's over, these are your official conference standings in the West. We got Oklahoma City as a 1 seed, Memphis 2, Denver 3, Lakers 4, 5 Houston, 6 Dallas, 7 Minnesota, 8 Clippers. So they will maintain their spots in the West. So back to the East. Back to the East. And here we go right here. Just a reminder of what the standings were. So here are our first round playoff matchups. I'm going to take the Cleveland Cavaliers to beat the 8th seeded Philadelphia 76ers 4-1. And Joel Embiid will be out of Philadelphia after this, and probably Paul George in the process will have to start all the way over again, as far as, the trusted process. So that's my pick for that one. I'm taking Boston to beat the Magic in 5. Magic, they've been banged up, but I think they're good enough. The C's aren't as good as they were last year. So I think Orlando's good enough to take at least one game off the Celtics in this series. And then I'm taking the Knicks. I'm taking the Knicks to be the team that gets scared, that the team that the top seed, it's the Knicks. It's the Knicks. They'll beat the Pistons, but it's something about opponents playing in Madison Square Garden where they just love to make their name on the Knicks. Because it's the Knicks and because it's the Garden, they just wake up and try and show out. Of course, we can cite Trae Young and a lot of others like Michael Jordan. Even though this is an inferior team the Knicks are playing, I still think the Pistons will make it tough. I said taste tough for the we're gonna leave that in to tough for the New York Knicks. And this will leave a sour taste in fans' mouth as they go on to watch the Knicks in the next round, not really believing the Knicks can survive against the team that they play. And in the 4 versus 5 matchup, this one will go the distance. And I'm taking the Milwaukee Bucks to beat the Indiana Pacers 4-3. This will be the toughest matchup of the East in the first round. And before last season, just a little fun fact, like in just talking about the East, like I said, there's never much drama. Of course, last year you had Cleveland versus Orlando that went the distance in the East to 7 rounds in the first round, to 7 games in the first round. And the last time the East had a first round matchup before that, wasn't years ago, decades or something, but it was the 2018 when it was 2 actually. It was the Cavs versus Pacers, LeBron's final year in Cleveland. The year he got swept by Golden State, and it was Bucks versus Celtics. So like I said, you don't really see this much drama in the East. So I think this is the most drama you're gonna get right here when the Pacers and Milwaukee Bucks match up. That's the most drama you'll get in the East. It don't happen that often. So we'll get to the second round of the East, but let's just go to the West, and let's get the West first round out of the way. And in the West, just a reminder, we got Oklahoma City, Memphis, Denver, Lakers, Houston, Dallas, Minnesota, and the Clippers. And in the first round, I'm taking the 1-seeded Thunder. Just out of respect for Kawhi, if he plays, I'm taking the Thunder to win this one in 7. I think it'll be a tough series for the young Oklahoma City team, but at the end of it, I think they'll prevail. And the question is, what has always been, what's next for the Clippers, next year? But I'm taking the Thunder to win that one in 7. And I'm taking the Timberwolves to upset the number 2 seeded Grizzlies in the first round. The Timberwolves got off to a slow start. I still think they're a good team, but they just, unfortunately, like I said, got off to a slow start. Not unfortunate, because it's their fault. They got to play better to start the season. But because a loss here for Minnesota will be a big step back in terms of what they were able to do last year, making it to the conference finals. So this is another good matchup that'll it'll almost go the distance. But I'm gonna take the Timberwolves to win this one in 6. I think the Wolves will come out in 6 over the Grizzlies. Dallas versus Denver, 6 versus 3. I'm gonna take the Mavericks to win this one in 7. And I think after this series, you're gonna see some changes coming in Denver for sure. This team will be broken up. You know what I'm saying? They had a run where they won the championship, but that was it. You know what I'm saying? That's what that team is. It seems like they were built for more, but I think after this year to prove that it was just built for 1 year, just like the Mavericks of 2011 or whatever. And I've been saying it all along. The Mavs are, if they're healthy, they're a legit contender. I think they should be the favorites if healthy. And I'm going, and you've seen them win games without Anthony Davis. You've seen them win, like beat teams like Boston. I'm going to assume they'll be at full strength, and I think they'll beat the Nuggets to win this series. Lakers versus Rockets. The Lakers should be gelled enough by the time the playoffs come around. You know, and even before then, you know, Houston will take 2 off the Lakers, but they're young, man. The Houston Rockets are young. Now, that could be a good thing and a bad thing. It could be a good thing because they can outrun the Lakers. And a bad thing, just look at Oklahoma City from last season against Dallas in the second round. There's a difference when a team can adjust to you for 4 games at the least and 7 at the most. It's a different ball game when you have that time to adjust to a team. So I'm going to take the Lakers to win this series, and the Rockets will, again, try and get Kevin Durant, I think, in free agency to try to take that next step of getting to a championship team. But I do love what Ime Udoka has done, dealt a bad hand in Dallas. I mean, not Dallas, but Boston for sure. And he's bounced back to show that, hey, you know, Joe Mazzulla did win the finals, but I would have done the same thing had I still been there. He's showing that in Houston with this young squad because I think dudes really want to play for Ime. So I like the Rockets, but of course I'm taking my Lakers to win this series. And let's just go back to the East. Second round in the Eastern Conference. We got the Cavs versus the Bucks, and we got the Celtics versus the Knicks. So in our first matchup, the number 1 seeded Cavaliers. This one is a tough one because I do like the addition of Kyle Kuzma in Milwaukee. I really do. So if this matchup happened, though, because I think Cleveland is so well-rounded and a really good team who's better than what they were last year. They really are. And I'm going to take them to eke out this series win in 7 games against the Milwaukee Bucks. I think Cleveland is just better this season. I can't see this team, the start that they got up to and how they've been playing, I can't see them losing before they get to at least the conference finals. They can't lose before they get there because in their eyes, they should be in the finals. But in my eyes, it's a failure of a season if you don't get at least to the conference finals after what you did last year and the start that you got off to this season. And my prediction, winning 65 games. They haven't done that since, like, if they do this. These are predictions before the playoffs, the officials. So if they do that, it'll be the most wins they've had since 2009 when they won like 66 games under LeBron. And Celtics versus Knicks. TD Garden versus Madison Square Garden. Oh my goodness. I can see this series right here being a classic. I can see this right here being a classic series right here, Boston versus New York, where the Knicks lose in a heartbreaking effort. I'm taking Boston to win this one in 7. I don't see the Knicks beating the Celtics. I don't see them beating the C's. So I'm taking Boston to win this, and I can just see something crazy happening in this series. Well, New York should have won. They'll blow a game in the series they should have won to where it shouldn't have even been to a game 7. Just something crazy like that that'll cause them, if not against Boston, against somebody in the second round. But we got Boston right here on the screen. So against Boston. And before we predict our Eastern Conference Finals, let's go back to the West and get the second round out of the way and finish this thing up. So in the West, we got Lakers versus Thunder in the semifinals. And then we got Dallas versus Minnesota in a rematch of the Eastern Conference playoffs. Lakers versus Thunder last happened in like 2010 when the Lakers beat the Celtics. That was the first one. That was KD, Young, Harden, Young, all of them, Westbrook, and all those dudes. In this one, the Thunder should win this series again because they have the better team. But again, winning 65 games, which I predict them to do, is a lot different. You know what I'm saying? You can win 65 games in the regular season where you're playing different teams every night, and you know what I'm saying, you don't see another team until a couple weeks or a month or so later. There's a difference between doing that and then winning a series. The question is, has the Thunder matured past what happened to them against Dallas in the second round last year? Have they matured past that? Can they win a 7-game series? Can they make it? Can they do what I think Cleveland should be able to do? Make it to at least the conference finals. It's different when you see a team, they can win game 1 against the Lakers, blowout fashion, 125-93. The sky's falling, the Thunder are going on. Sky's falling for LA, and the Thunder are going to win this series easily. Can they continue to win in a 7-game series? Now, I think they'll just get by the Clippers in the first round. But when it comes to the Lakers, I think the Lakers will beat them in a 7-game series. And the Lakers will lead the Thunder asking questions like, how do we get over the hump? How do we, the team that we have, what more do we need? You know what I mean? Like, what more do the Oklahoma City Thunder need? They have a complete team that I like, but I don't know if they can do it. I believed in them before, but I don't know about now. I think they're running into the wrong team at the wrong time. So I'm taking the Lakers to win this one in 6. Dallas versus Minnesota. A rematch of the conference finals last year. Like I said, when healthy, Dallas, as currently constructed, the Mavericks can win it all, in my opinion. I think they can win it all. And I'm going to pick them to win this series against the Wolves in 7 and go on to meet the Lakers in what will be a ratings magnet of a conference finals, considering what has happened during the trade deadline, during the trading process. Luka for AD. If this conference finals matchup happen, it'll be something special. So I'm taking Dallas to beat Minnesota. And in the Eastern Conference Finals, we got a rematch of last year, the Cleveland Cavaliers versus the Boston Celtics. They met quite a couple times or so, right? When LeBron was in Cleveland. When LeBron was in Cleveland. Didn't they meet back-to-back years during those 2 years KD won? Yep, they did. They most definitely did. Yep. 2017 and 2018. This series right here, I think Boston will come into this series probably as the underdogs on paper. But I think at the end of it, I think it'll go the distance of 7. I'm taking Boston to win this series in 7 to crush. It'll be a heartbreaking loss for Cleveland. I can see that happening. Them crushing the Knicks and the Cavaliers back-to-back series. And I'm taking the Boston Celtics to make it back to the finals. To defend their championship, and this will be their first. If they do, this will be their first time making it to back-to-back finals since the 80s, where they made, I believe, 4 straight finals from 1987 to 1984 to 1987. So yeah, I got the C's in the finals. Beating the Cavaliers and going to the West to round this thing out almost. Lakers versus Mavericks in the conference finals. This series should be a size disadvantage for the Lakers, in favor of Dallas. But in the end, I think it'll be Luka Magic. I think Luka feels some type of way of getting traded like that, And then LeBron James with a lot to prove, you know what I'm saying? Getting this team to the finals as he winds down his career. And I'm going to take the Lakers. I'm going to take the Lakers to beat the Celtics. I just jumped the gun, didn't I? I'm going to take the Lakers to beat the Mavericks 4-3 in 7 games to play the Boston Celtics in the NBA Finals for the 13th time. Now, Boston already has title number 18. So the Lakers will not be playing to pass them. The Lakers will be playing to tie. So let's get to the NBA Finals. Well, we got the Lakers versus Celtics for the 13th time. My hope is that this series is a sweep in favor of LA. But in reality, I think it'll go 7. I think this series will go 7. This won't be a cruise by neither, neither way. I don't think Boston will blow out LA. I don't think LA will blow out Boston. I don't think either team are good enough to wipe each other out in a 4 or 5 game series, or 5 games, 4 or 5 games, a sweep or a gentleman's sweep. But I'm going to take the Lakers to tie Boston with title number 18. And, who knows? Next year, maybe they'll be playing to break the tie. LeBron's probably his final year will be year 23. The number he's worn for most of his career. So I'm going to take the Lakers to win this series against the Celtics in 7. Mark my words. So those are my picks. It'll be great picks. It'll be great to see where we stand at the end of the season. Hopefully these are the official picks, these post-trade, post-all-star picks. Let me know what y'all think. Leave a comment to let me know who you got in the finals. And just let's interact about it. Let's talk about it. Let's get it on record and we'll see what happens. As always, I appreciate you guys for taking this time to hear me out. Be sure to subscribe to the channel. Let's try to hit the new millennium at 2,000 subs. Again, 30 away. So I appreciate it. And until next time, we'll see you on the flippity flip. Peace.
Bring it to you live, on time. Bring it to you live.